Previously on Billy G Saves the Water. It is the start of year 5. We are coming off a Stanley Cup win, and I think we have a very good chance of going back-to-back Stanley Cup champions because our lineup is stacked. If an 80 overall can't make the team, can't make the lineup, you know your team's pretty good, I think. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at this year. I really like our team. I think this is going to be one of our best seasons that the Wild have ever had. So, and that's saying something coming off a Stanley Cup. I'm excited. Let's get some simming done. The rematch, 2-1 win. Let's go. Stanley Cup was not a fluke. Tippett having a monster year. 61 points. That second line, look at that. We are absolutely running away with it in our division. Yeah, okay, we're the best team in the league right now with 84 points. But Boldy, having an absolute monster year, doesn't want long term. And he wants a lot of money. But this team's really good. We have problems, but we have good problems.
You guys know what this is all about, right? Right? What's it all about? Spurgey?
Hard work and having fun.
That. This is about winning.
All right, welcome back. The chase for the President's Trophy continues in this episode. We are almost to the trade deadline. It's what, year 5 still? Yeah, it's the year 5 trade deadline, and some decisions have been made about things that I'm not going to be doing, kind of. Like, I thought I would be maybe doing some trading this video. If we look at our lines, I was kind of thinking about trading players like Gurianov, who only have this year left on their contract, and that will be unrestricted at the end of the year. The decision on Gurianov is basically we're going to keep him for the rest of the year and try to get that 2 years in a row Stanley Cup. We're really gunning for another Stanley Cup with this lineup. So I was thinking about maybe trading Gurianov, and then I was thinking about maybe trading Ethan Bear, just because with what I want to re-sign Pionk at and what we need to re-sign Boldy at, we're not going to be able to afford Ethan Bear or Dumoulin anymore. But Dumoulin only has 1 year left, so he's basically going to probably walk after this season. So yeah, Ethan Bear, I was maybe thinking about trading, but he has a year after this year still left on his contract. So that kind of made me think, well, maybe we should just keep him and then trade him in the offseason, because his value should stay, his trade value should stay a little bit with an extra year on there. But for players like Boldy, who need to be re-signed, and Marco Rossi, I have made the decision that we're probably going to have to what's that called? Where you let the player go into free agency, but you still have his rights, like restrict him. He'll be a restricted free agent in this offseason, and then we'll still have the rights to him, and we'll offer him something this offseason, but Boldy is technically going to be a free agent, but he's going to be restricted. And then for Rossi, who's also in the same boat as Boldy, but we don't really want to re-sign Rossi after this year. But I'm going to go to contracts And for Rossi, I don't want him to be a restricted free agent. I want to keep his rights. So if you can see, Boldy and Rossi are both restricted free agents. So we're going to restrict Boldy, but I was thinking about actually giving Rossi a contract because he isn't asking for that crazy amount of money. 3 years at just under 6. So I was thinking of maybe offering Rossi a contract and then trading him this offseason. Because I don't want to really mess around with 2 unrestricted free agents and then maybe something weird might happen where we can't sign Boldy and then we have to sign Rossi. Or the game kind of makes it so I sign Rossi first and then I don't have enough money for Boldy with 2 unrestricted or 2 restricted free agents. It gets weird. I know it's confusing. I'm probably making zero sense if you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you know what I'm talking about, hopefully you know kind of my strategy here. And then Pionk I want to re-sign. So I think I'm going to offer Pionk a contract extension. He wants 3 years at 7.35. I think I'm going to offer him a 2-year contract at like 6.5. Because that's just barely over Dumba, who's at 6.25. I think that'll be good for Pionk, 6.5. I think he'll take that. And I'm willing to go 6.5 for a first pair defenseman that pairs well with what's his face? Lambos. So I'm gonna offer Neil Pionk 2 years at 6.5. Boom. And then I'm gonna offer Rossi. He wants 3 years. His cheapest is at the 3 year and 2 year. So I think I'm just gonna go 2 years at let's try 5.25 to start. See if he takes that. Boom. And then we'll wait for Boldy for the offseason. Kind of confusing moves going on right now. Hopefully you guys are kind of understanding what I'm trying to do. Because our top 6 is getting hella expensive with how good the second line is doing this year. So basically we're going to have a loaded top 6 after this going into next year. Hopefully we can get Boldy back. And hopefully our top 6 will remain the same. But like players like Garyanov are going to be gone. Rossi's going to be gone. Palmieri didn't want to re-sign a contract, but I like Palmieri, so maybe we can get him as a free agent. So maybe he'll be back. Geeky, I was thinking about trading and putting Hartman in at right wing. Because we have Hartman I gave that 3-year extension to. So after this year's up, he still has 3 more years at 1.7. I'm not sure if we'll be able to afford Geeky again. And I don't really like Geeky's line combinations anyways. So I think Geeky's going to be gone. Cirelli's going to be gone because we're not going to be able to afford him. And then Foligno didn't want to re-sign, or he didn't want an extension either. But we'll see if we can re-sign Foligno in the offseason. Because next year he could be a third-line player again. And we also have 3 younger forwards in the AHL next year as well. So players like Beckman, Dewar, and this Russian guy. Kovanov, I think is how you say it. I think we'll be able to sign these guys pretty cheap. Beckman I have for a long time, so we're good for Beckman. Dewar, we're going to have to re-sign Dewar. So this might be our third line next year, or combination or something like that. And then maybe Foligno, maybe Palmieri, and then Hartman would be our other, like, fourth line, or like bottom 6 forwards for next year. And then Lambos, Pionk, hopefully we can get him to re-sign. Dumba, Brodin. Dumoulin's going to have to walk after this year because we're not going to be able to afford him. And then Ethan Bear we're going to trade after this season. So that's the plan. And then goalies are all the same. Still got Wallstedt, still got Kakinen. So let's sim a couple days. Hopefully Pionk and Rossi sign. And then we'll keep simming the rest of this season. And hopefully we'll get that President's Trophy. And then we'll see if we can get another cup this year. But that'll be next video of the playoffs. So let's advance a day. Duhaim's been injured with a mild concussion in the AHL. Okay, we'll do best lines. Advance another day. Alright, Neil Pionk. It was an easy decision to renew my contract with you. So we got Neil Pionk for 2 more years after this year at 6.5. I like that. I like that for Neil Pionk. And Rossi was an easy decision to renew my contract. So even though we signed Rossi, we're not going to keep him. We're going to trade him after this year. Just because we're not going to be able to afford Boldy otherwise, I don't think. And what did we give Rossi? 5.25? 5.25 is a lot of money for a third line guy. But, alright, there it is. So there are the contract extensions. We're not going to be trading anybody because we're going for another cup run. So let's go to the calendar. So we got 1 more day, 2 more days until the trade deadline. I don't plan on trading anyone, so let's just sim up to that. So should we be I guess we would be a buyer, conservative buyer. We'll be a conservative buyer because I don't really plan on doing anything. A buyer would be like, I'll trade you our first round pick for somebody, but I don't plan on doing that. All right, Ryan O'Reilly, Gallagher. Demko's who I thought was in Toronto. Drew Doughty, getting older. Hartman, Arthur, and Skinner. Hold up. Let's look at this. Who is this? Kabinov. He is a top 6 forward, 22 years old, and he's only a 74 overall. Playmaker, right wing, left wing. Nah. And then a goalie, starter, 23 years old, only 73 overall. Nah. That would be a trade if we were kind of tanking. But those players seem like they're not going to live up to their potential, so we're not going to bother with that. I don't really want to sit here, so I'm just going to exit this, and then we can see if there's any trades afterwards. So, exit trade deadline. Alright, so we got a 6-4 win against the Devils, and then we're at Calgary Flames. We'll send that. Best lines in the AHL. Shootout loss against the Flames. Okay, let's see if there was any trades. Alright, starting at the bottom. Problem with getting into these older or these higher years, I don't really know all the names of these young guys, but I'll do my best. Seattle got a first round pick. Radek Faksa, and Dennis Cholowski. So Seattle gets a first round pick for a couple names I don't really know. So maybe there's younger guys. But maybe that's a big pick. Maybe that's a big trade. I don't know. Brandon Saad and Brady Shea go to the Bruins. Couple picks exchanged. Ryan Donato goes to the Capitals. He was on Montreal. Quenneville and a second go to the Rangers from Buffalo. And Ryan Strome goes to Buffalo from New York. So there's maybe a bigger trade. I don't know how good that Quenneville guy is. But Ryan Strome is a good player. Cam Atkinson goes to the Red Wings from the Flames. Flames get a defenseman and a second round pick. All right, here we go. Drew Doughty goes to the Blues. And LA gets a left wing and a third round pick. I wonder how good Drew Doughty still is. He's probably still mid-80s. He's probably a little bit older now. He's probably in his mid to late 30s. But Doughty goes to the Blues. That's not good. That's our conference. For Jonathan Drouin. I think that Drouin guy is all right, if I remember. Some picks being exchanged. All right, so maybe the two big ones are Drew Doughty and Ryan Strome. I kind of want to actually see how good Drew Doughty is still. Okay, so Drew Doughty is still an 86 overall. He's 36 years old. His durability is still a 83. So getting a little older, but still an offensive awareness of 88, defensive awareness of 90. Still can skate. He's got this year and next year left on that 11 mil contract. All right, so Blues get a good defenseman. They got some pretty good defensemen other than this 74 overall. They got Rantanen on their team. I don't know when that happened. Their forwards don't look great other than Sam Reinhart and Rantanen and Kyrou. And Kostin, I guess. They got a 78 overall on their second line. 78 overall on their third. 77 and a 76 overall on their third. Why didn't these guys on the third? But these guys are pretty young. Top 6. Top 6. Top 6. So that's a young third line there. Alright, so Doughty was a big one. And then Strome went to the Sabres. Sabres still have Jack Eichel. Did he not? Oh, there he is. He's on the fourth line. 85 overall, 32 years old. 1 year left on his contract. Buffalo doesn't look like their team's that bad. They got pretty good depth. They got Dahlin and then not too many other defensemen, but I mean not terrible, low 80s. So those I would say were the two bigger trades. But let's keep simming. So we're 40, 15, and 7. What does that come out to? 55, 62. So let's sim 8 more games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One thing I don't want here at the end of the season is injuries. Shootout loss against the Oilers. 6-0 win against the Sharks. Ryan O'Rourke has been injured with a mild concussion. It's AHL. AHL. 3-2 loss against Dallas. 6-5-1 against the Kraken. 2-0 win against the Flames. O'Rourke's back. We'll go best lines. 3-0 win against LA. 3-1 win against Nashville. 6-2 win against Avalanche. All right, so we're still playing good. How good is Dallas? Dallas is 500. Okay. Seattle's not bad, not great. Avalanche are all right. Sabres are bad. All right, so let's just keep simming. We don't have much left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's sim maybe a week left or something. Nobody get injured now. Going for that President's Trophy. We're at 100 points right now. 8-2 win against Vegas. Shit kicking. Wallstedt's been injured for the 3rd time this season. Wallstedt's got that cup hangover, it looks like. So we're going to bring up Skinner again. Well, I'm glad we kept Capo. He's been used a lot this year. 36 games, 22 wins. Skinner didn't do great when he was in, but that's all right. Best lines in Iowa. We got some depth at goalie, so... All right, 5-1 win against the Canucks. OT loss against Pittsburgh. 4-2 win against Vegas. Vegas Golden Knights have fired their head coach. All right. Right after we beat him 4-2. 3-2 loss against the Sharks. 4-1 win against the Rangers. Uh-oh. Brodin's been injured with a fractured jaw. Not great. I guess we'll do that. Bear with Dumba. Addison with Dumoulin. Power play shouldn't change. Penalty kill. I guess Addison can be on penalty kill. Whatever. 4-on-4. We got Pionk and then Lambos and then Dumba and Addison. I'm fine with that. 3-on-3. Pionk, Dumba, Lambos. Alright, so we'll have to see how long Brodin is out and Wallstedt. OT loss against the Sabres. 3-2 win against the Islanders. 4-2 win against the Avalanche. Okay, so we're 52, 17, and 10 right now. 3 games left. Let's check at those injuries. Okay, Brodin has a fractured jaw. He'll return April 20th. So Brodin will be back to 20th. Hopefully that will be in time for playoffs. Wallstedt will be back to May 10th. So he'll probably miss maybe even the first 2 rounds if we get that far. But good thing we have a reliable backup in Capo. But let's just sim the last 3 games here. 5-2 win against... Oh no. Dumba's been injured with a herniated disc as well. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Oh god. So that means we're gonna have to call somebody up. Okay. Walsh is a right-handed offensive awareness or offensive defenseman. So maybe we'll go Walsh and Bowie. Because we're down 2 defensemen now. Alright, so I think that's what we're going to have to do for our defensemen. Addison and Bowie are going to be paired up on that 3rd pair. And then Bear, Dumoulin, and Lambos and Pionk. So that's not what I wanted right at the end of the season there. Okay, power play. We will go... Addison in that Dumba spot. So get that +5. Or should we go... Yeah. Okay, we'll go Pionk and then Addison on the second unit. So get that +5 and +2. And then Lambos and Pionk. That's fine. Penalty kill. Those will be our penalty kills. 4 on 4. 5 on 5. Be like that. 4 on 4, we'll go Pionk with Lambos on the second. And then Addison. Go Ethan Bear. Or should we do a forward? Palmieri. Sure. 3 on 3 we won't really have, but all right, so there's our lines. Dumba and Brodeen out. (5-2) win, 4-3 win. Last game, 5-2 win. So, one more game. See if we're... Alright, so first round we're going to go up against the Winnipeg Jets. We've played them the last 2 years. I think we've beaten them twice, so I think we can handle the Winnipeg Jets in the first round, even with our injuries. But before we look into the playoffs, let's look at our regular season stats here. Alright, so I think we for sure won the President's Trophy. Yeah, holy shit. Alright, we have 120 points, and the next two teams 104 points. So, yeah, we ran away with the President's Trophy this year. Far and away, we're the best team in the league. Goals for, 391, which is really good. Goals against, 241. Which is really good. Power play, 27.6%, which is really good. Penalty kill, 86.2%. That's pretty good. Home, we were 26, 9, and 6. Away, 29, 8, and 4. Last 10, 7, 1, and 2. So, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the year, like, holy shit, this team is stacked. Yeah, we were for sure the best team in the league this year. So, the Wild, with their first ever President's Trophy, which is cool. Individual stats, we'll see how we look here. So, that's second line with Tippett, Boldy, and Kotkaniemi led the team in points. Tippett with 101 points. Compared to last year, he had 50. He had 50 combined last year with Florida and us. And then over doubled his points. He was a plus 52. Oh my god, what a year. 25 power play points. Just an absolute monster year from Tippett. Boldy scores 53 goals with 89 points. Last year he had 79 points. He was a plus 45. So Boldy is a 50 goal scorer in 2026. Kotkaniemi with 86. So that's 10 points better than last year. He was a plus 50. Just an absolute awesome year by our second line. Kaprizov with 84, so he was over a point per game. That was one better than last year. 34 in the plus minus. 48 goals, almost had 50. Still chasing that 50-goal season. Matt Boldy beats Kaprizov to a 50-goal season. I did not expect that. But good year for Kaprizov. Perfetti with a point per game with 78. Not as good at points-wise than last year, but a way better plus-minus than last year. Good year for Perfetti. Bedard with 76. That's not what I expected him to just keep getting better and better points-wise. But 76 points isn't bad. Plus 27. 22 power play points. I thought the first line was going to kind of have the points that the second line had this year. That's kind of nuts. Matt Dumba with 55 points. Is that his best season? Yeah, by 5 points he beats his 50-point season. So Matt Dumba has his best regular season of his career with 55 points. He was a plus 19. Pionk with 49. He was a plus 48, so that's a really good plus minus for Pionk. Is that his best year? Yep, so that's Pionk's best year of his career right there. Marco Rossi with 42. I think that's a little bit down actually from last year. Yeah. 77 games played, 42 points. He had 59 last year. So a little bit of a down year for our third line, looks like. Sorelli on that fourth line scored 34 points. That's down, obviously, because he was not getting as much playing time. But still a good year for him. Plus 15. Garyanov only with 33 points on that third line. That's way down from last year. And his plus minus is way down from last year. But again, he didn't get as much playing time. Not as much power play time, I don't think. Or was he on that second unit? No, he wasn't. He was sometimes, only when we had injuries, but yeah. So Garyanov, it's probably his last regular season with the Wild. But 4 pretty good years. This year, not as great, but third line. Geeky with 30. Palmieri with 25. Foligno with 25. Lambos with 21. Not as good points-wise, but he was way better in plus-minus with 38. Hopefully Lambos gets better point-wise, but we'll just have to see, I guess, for Lambos. Ethan Bear with 18. Dumoulin with 15. Brodin with 11. Hartman played only 14 games, had 5 points. Addison only played 15 games with 4 points. And Bowie didn't have any points in one game. Okay. Goalies. So Capo played the most of the games this year with 42. 25 wins, 9 losses, 6 OT losses, 4 shutouts. Save percentage, 914. Goals against 2, 3, 4. So that's all we need from fucking Capo Kakinen, really. Our team was so good, those stats will probably be a little bit better than normal. And then Wallstat just couldn't stay healthy. 33 games, 23 wins, 5 losses, 4 OT losses. So good stats, he just couldn't stay healthy. Compared to last year, what was that? So he almost had 40 wins last season. Imagine what he could have done this year if he would have stayed healthy. And Skinner with 12, 8 wins, 3 losses. Not as good stats. Save percentage isn't great. Goals against isn't terrible, but save percentage wasn't great. So those are the goalies. Gonna need Capo to be good in the playoffs. I guess we can peek at the Winnipeg Jets for the playoffs. Alright, so they still got Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele. So two big boys right there. Iafallo, Dubois, Yarncroc. Third line, not bad. They got Eric Haula still on that fourth line at an 84. They got a 38-year-old Phil Kessel at an 80 on the fourth line. Let's see how Phil did this year. Played 70 games, 18 points, -8. He's getting fourth line time. Feel the thrill. Getting old. Defensively, still got Morrissey, Pulak, D'Angelo. Our defensemen aren't bad. No one stands out that's like absolutely terrible. And then goalie. Still got Connor Hellebuyck at a 90 overall. But we've done it twice before, so why can't we do it again? Taking down Connor Hellebuyck 2 years in a row. Ooh, look at that. Iowa Wild won their whole league. Or was that the whole league? Hold on. Oh, no. Got second in the league. Cleveland Monsters. The 130 points. But Iowa, second. So that's pretty good. Vegas Golden Knights were by far the worst team in the league this year. Then Predators, Flames, Penguins, Coyotes, Blackhawks, Stars, Rangers. But I think that's where we'll end it, this video. Next video, we'll get into the playoffs, see what we can do. Got some injuries. Goalie went down. A couple defensemen went down. But I think we'll be all right for depth-wise still. 2026 is the Wild are the best team in the league and win the President's Trophy. Best team in the league by far. Could tell by our lineup that we were going to have a really good year. So that's where we'll end it. Shorter video, but not too many moves we had to do. Just more explanations of the future, what's going to be happening. But peace out. Thank you for watching. Live, laugh, subscribe. Go Wild.
Perfect.